My name is Matt Alex. I'm a recruiter and admission counselor for the program. And Amy, my colleague, and Amy is the director of recruitment for our program, will be sharing information about our program with you today. Now, first of all, Willamette University is located in Salem, Oregon. And this region is located approximately in the middle between Seattle and San Francisco on the west coast. So Amy's going to go ahead and jump on and give you a quick overview of our early career versus traditional MBA.
Thanks, Matt. Like Matt said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the selection process and what some of the things you might want to look for when thinking about an MBA program. Now, many of you are probably familiar with the traditional MBA, which usually is designed for students with between 3 and 5 years of work experience. Now, these traditional MBA programs tend to rely on previous experience. Now, an early career MBA program is a little bit different because it actually provides real-world experience in the program itself. So students are actually taking part in real-world projects or consulting experiences, things that are actually building their resume and their career management tools so that they can be successful after they finish the MBA into their career. So when you're looking for an early career MBA, some things that you might want to look for, but a true early career MBA is what you're wanting to look for. And what that means is you're looking for a curriculum that has that in-depth, hands-on experience. You want to make sure that that curriculum is building up your resume, is giving you real-world experience in addition to your coursework. Now, it should also have an established mentorship program because this is going to help you get connected with perhaps an industry or a company that might interest you. In addition, it should also have strong career services and career placement. What this means is hopefully a career office that is designated for the MBA students to help them in their internship search as well as their job search when they're ready to graduate from the program. Another aspect of an early career MBA student is that they do have a bachelor's degree, but it can be in a major in any area of study. So our students come from backgrounds in business, humanities, languages, science, engineering. A lot of different areas are studied in their undergraduate before pursuing an MBA. And again, an early career MBA will actually allow students to combine their bachelor's degree with the general management that is taught in an MBA program. The third thing that we're also looking for in an early career student is their experience, but it doesn't have to be traditional work experience. This experience can be anything that is leading or working with an organization. So that can be part-time work, volunteer activities, even involvement in student clubs and organizations, or other types of team projects that you may have been involved in. So you want to make sure to highlight those things when you're applying to the program. Just a couple more things that we're looking for in a good early career candidate. You definitely want to show the exceptional academic credentials, and that includes your GPA, your undergraduate grade point average, as well as your GMAT, and in some cases GRE score. These are the tests that are required for admission. So oftentimes it'll be important to show that you have those strong background, that you're prepared to take on the rigor of an MBA program. And then lastly, we are looking for strong references from previous managers, supervisors, and in fact, in some cases, professors. And this is going to be important, again, for an early career student because you're going to want to show that your professors really do recommend you for a graduate level program. I'm going to turn it back over to Matt Alex, who's going to talk about our program and specifically what the program is about. So I'm going to turn it back over to Matt now.
Thank you, Amy. Our program really focuses on 3 different pillars, the first of which is knowledge. Now, you should expect in whatever graduate or educational program you enroll in that knowledge should be a central focus. We give you the professional skills, the critical thinking skills, math and writing, all of the educational and academic aspects that you need to succeed in the business world. But on top of that, we also focus on experiential learning and strategic career management. Throughout most of your classes, you will have an experiential element in our program. So this means that as a student, you'll be working directly with clients and getting real experience working with them and applying the things that you've been learning in the classroom. This is a list of various areas of interest in the MBA program. So these are the courses that you will focus your elective classes on. In addition to these areas of interest, our students also focus on management as a broad perspective. Next, let's talk a little bit about how you can build your experience. So as a student, you'll have the opportunity to really work on real projects that have real consequences for organizations. We also call this consequential learning because what you're doing really makes an impact on the organizations that you will be working with. One of the central courses in our program, or one of the central series of courses, is called PACE. PACE is Practical Applications for Careers and Enterprises. In the PACE program, in the first semester, you will be paired up on a team of other MBA students. These are diverse teams made up of students from around the world and with different experience. So your team will be working with a nonprofit organization that's assigned to you. And these nonprofits are primarily local in the Pacific Northwest area. So you will effectively act as a consultant for your organization and complete a project that has real consequences for their organization. You'll be doing this over the course of your first semester, so you'll also be learning as you're doing this. Now, in the second semester, your team is responsible for creating a new venture business plan. So you'll go through the whole process of creating a proposal for a new business. This includes making sure that your finances are correct, building a marketing plan, and building the business. And it goes all the way up to the point where you would want to approach investors to ask for funding to get this off the ground. One of your final projects in the program is actually a presentation in front of a panel of mock investors to try to convince them to invest in your program. One of the other experiential elements is our career management activities. So one of the central pieces as well in our program is the internship. Most students, nearly 98% of them, will do an internship between their first and second year. So this is an opportunity for you to apply what you've been learning over the course of the first year to an actual business during the summer. You can also build your experience by involving yourself in professional organizations. We have a number of professional organizations that are run by our students. Whether you want to focus on marketing or finance or sustainability, there's a number of organizations that you can belong to. And these student organizations will visit companies in their sector. They will bring speakers to campus, and their goal is to provide you more experience to learn about their field. In the MBA program, you will primarily start by focusing on specific required core courses, including marketing, accounting, human resources, but you will also have the opportunity to focus your education on experiential courses. Our experiential elective courses are courses where you will actually be building your experience by working with clients or by starting and running your own business. So one of those courses is called New Ventures. So New Ventures allows you to actually start and run your own business. And we've had a number of students who have had quite a bit of success in this program. So these are three examples of students who have launched their own companies. In the bottom left-hand corner is a student named Brendan Gallant, who actually started his own bicycling clothing line. In the center is a student named Josh who started a study abroad program for athletes. Another student in the top right is Jan Taborski. Jan developed a gluten-free baking company. Jan took an old family recipe for gluten-free bread, which means it's made without wheat, and has actually seen a lot of success selling his bread in the Pacific Northwest region. Other courses that you can gain experience in by taking include the Student Investment Fund, which is a course that allows our students to invest real money in the stock market. Now, don't worry, this is not your own money that you'll be investing. Willamette University has a fund of about $500,000 that they disperse between different stocks and markets. And our students are actually the ones who decide where to invest. They've done very well for themselves over the last few years and have actually made a return. Another course is called Venture Investing. This course puts you on the other side of the table. So Willamette University has a fund that our students actually decide to give to new businesses who are starting. So as a student, you will actually act as the investor for those businesses. They approach our students in this class, give their pitches, and as a student, you will decide which organizations to invest in. Another experiential elective is called Integrated Marketing Communication. In this class, you will be able to work with a nonprofit client to develop a marketing plan for them. You will go through the whole process of learning about their organization, developing a marketing plan, and then developing a pitch to present it to the organization. This is a list of a number of other experiential electives that we offer. You can see that regardless of your focus, you can actually gain experience in many different areas. Next, I want to give you a look at what our student body looks like. So this is an overview of our student profile. Now, for our program, we do not require any specific undergraduate major. So you do not have to be a business major to be admitted. Now, one last thing before I hand it back to Amy is our ranking. Our MBA program has been recognized by many reputable sources. One of the first and my personal favorite of our rankings is Forbes Magazine's Top 75 Best Business Schools in the United States list. This ranking goes out and surveys our alumni after they've graduated 5 years and asks them about the value of their degree, whether they have earned the salary increases that they expect, the promotions, and whether their education has provided them with the experience to do well in their jobs. Now with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Amy, who's going to talk to you a little bit about applying for admission.
Thanks, Matt. Next, we're going to go into specifically what we look for in an MBA candidate when applying to an MBA program. So this is going to be helpful for all of you who are thinking about applying to an MBA program, whether it be to Willamette's MBA or to any other MBA program in the U.S. So first of all, what we're doing is, through our application review, we are being objective and holistic. Now what this means is we're looking at all of the qualifications in your application. So in that, there's some things that you want to do, that you want to relay to us. First of all, you want to be honest and realistic throughout the application process. This is definitely something you want to do through your essays. When you're writing your story about your life or about your education goals, you want to make sure to be honest and realistic about those goals. You also want to talk about not only what you want to gain from the MBA program, but also what you hope to contribute. We are definitely looking for students who can add to the diversity of our program. So in this, we want to see what you can actually bring to our MBA program, not just what you hope to get out of it. In doing that, you want to make sure to know about the program and its culture. You want to make sure that you know you're a good fit for that program. And you can do that by contacting the admissions office. Many admission representatives are very happy to talk to you, whether over the telephone or Skype or email or even on online chat. If you have the opportunity to visit and connect, this is a great way to be able to see the culture of the school. However, for those of you who may not be able to visit before you attend school, there's a lot of things that we do online. Just like this virtual session we're doing today, we do a lot of these for our program specifically. And so you can actually get a tour of campus. You can get a really nice overview of the program just to get a better idea about the program and if you see yourself as a good fit for that program. And then lastly, you want to make sure to talk to faculty and students. This is going to be a great way for you to get to know the program better. So here's what we look for in the application process. First of all, there's an online application. Now for our students, we have an incentive and we actually waive the $100 application fee for applications submitted online. This is a great way for you to be able to save a little bit of money in the process of applying. We also ask for your transcripts. Now these must be official transcripts, or if you only have one copy of your official transcripts, we can take a certified copy as well. Oftentimes, a notary will do this for you, and somebody in an official capacity can provide you with a certified copy of your transcript. We also require 2 letters of recommendation. Now, as I mentioned before, a lot of times we ask for the letters of recommendation from a professor because we want to see your academic background. Sometimes the other letter of recommendation can be from a supervisor or perhaps a colleague that you work with. The only thing we ask is that you do not submit a letter of recommendation from a family member or a close friend. We also require the GMAT or the GRE. Now this is unique to MBA programs. Not everyone allows you to submit the GRE score for admission. However, many more MBA programs are allowing for you to submit either a GMAT or a GRE. And this is actually very helpful because it provides you additional opportunities to take whichever test is easier for you to take and more convenient. I do encourage you to look through each test before you decide which one to take. This can be helpful because it will allow you to take the one that is best suited for your skills. Lastly, we also have an interview as part of the process. Now, the interview can be done online through Skype or even via telephone. And many of these interviews we do not in person because we know that students cannot be here for that to come to the interview. So we do interviews by Skype and telephone quite often. For international applicants, we also ask for additional requirements. The first one is the TOEFL or the IELTS, and we do have a minimum test score required for both of these tests. For the TOEFL, we require an 88. For the IELTS, we require a 6.5 band. After you have submitted all of your application documents, we also want you to submit the visa documents. If admitted, you will also have to apply for a student visa. So in that case, we require the I-20 and the financial documentation. What this does is proves that you have the financial funding available to study for up to 1 year in your first year in the MBA program. And that will be taken to the U.S. Embassy or to the consulate office to apply for your student visa. Now, one final point here is that our application process also considers all applicants for merit-based scholarships. So this is a great opportunity to be able to fund your studies through our scholarship program. Now, scholarships range from 10% to up to 100% of tuition. So just some really quick tips on applying, and these can be applied to any MBA program. So if you are considering applying to any MBA or maybe even a non-MBA program, these tips can still be very helpful. When you're preparing your application essays or personal statement, You want to make sure to read the question and follow the directions. We oftentimes have students who do not write a long enough essay, or they write a far too long of essay. So you want to make sure to fall within the range that is provided for how long to make the essay. Additionally, you want to emphasize your transferable skills. These are skills that can be transferred from whether it's your undergrad or from your previous experience. That can be communication skills, presentation skills, leadership skills, and all sorts of things. This is going to help show how your experience and academic background have prepared you for a successful graduate school experience. And then you also want to make sure to brush up on your math and verbal skills before you take the required admission test. And I already mentioned that's the GMAT or GRE for most cases to apply to an MBA program. When you're thinking about choosing references, you want to make sure to select references who do have a direct knowledge of your abilities and characteristics. You want to make sure to give them enough time to prepare your recommendation. It sometimes can take, especially professors, a long time to prepare your recommendation. So you want to make sure to give them several weeks or even months notice before you apply. When you're communicating with the admission office, you want to be professional in your email communication. When you're chatting, whether it's chat or email, you want to make sure to not use slang or text abbreviations. Every single time you contact the office, we are actually evaluating you as an admission candidate. And then finally, when you're preparing your interview, it's really helpful to create a list of accomplishments and challenges that you can refer to during the interview. A lot of times we ask questions about your previous experience, including times when you faced a challenge or something that you have overcome. And so to have those examples on hand is really helpful. Now to talk a little bit about financing your education. There are merit-based scholarships available for most MBA programs. These scholarships oftentimes are made part of the admission process, so quite often all you have to do is apply for admission, and you'll also be considered for scholarships. In some cases, you may even need to apply secondary applications for scholarships. There are oftentimes graduate assistantships available, which allow students to work while they're studying in school. And this is very good for international students because there are limitations on how much you can work while you're in school. And graduate assistantships actually allow you to be able to work on campus. Educational loans for international students are very limited in the U.S. This is because the loans for students to study are only available to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. However, there are some private banks who make loans available on a credit basis. And so what this means is students have to have a U.S. cosigner. So someone who is in the U.S. and a U.S. citizen has to cosign your loans. So it is very difficult to get loans once you're here in the U.S. So that's why it's very important to look at other outside opportunities, whether it's through other family members or other resources. Lastly, you want to remember that an MBA is an investment in your future. And this is definitely one of the best investments that you can make. So whether it's your own funding or your family's funding or other resources, if you have to sacrifice a little bit, just know that it is a very good investment.